Exactly what I was hoping for. And welcome to Car Con Carne on a Sunday night on the big game day. I can't say what game it is because it's a copyright thing. On the big game day, it's kind of like a pre-show Car Con Carne, if you will. I will. I'm James VanOsdol. Car Con Carne. Before I introduce my returning guests, the returning champions, I want to show off some stuff I got today. You know, I've thrown myself. This is self-care. Buying records during the pandemic has been a comforting thing for me. So I've been on a soundtrack kick lately. This right here, I'm excited about this. Enter the Dragon from 1973, the Bruce Lee soundtrack. This is badass. Got the soundtrack to Cat People today, featuring the movie version of the song Cat People by David Bowie, the Giorgio Moroder version. A lot slower than what you hear on Let's Dance. Love that. And who doesn't love a good John Williams score? E.T. on vinyl. So that's what I brought for show and tell. I also brought Handsome Naked to show and tell, returning to the show. Welcome back, Handsome Naked. It is always a pleasure to see you, Brett, Eric, and Chucho.
Thanks for having us. Again, we always love being here.
So it was all of 40 episodes ago when last we spoke. And it seemed like a good time, one, because as you know, I'm about as serious a football fan as any. But two, tomorrow at noon marks the conclusion of voting for this year's Best of Chicago 2020 poll in the Chicago Reader, a poll which we are all nominated in. So I figured we could talk about that. We could pat each other on the back, make some humiliating pleas for participation before this all wraps up. I feel like such a schmuck asking people to vote for this. I want them to, but I feel like an asshole for doing it.
I don't think so. I disagree. What else is it there for? Okay, the reason I'll say I don't is because have you seen how many categories there are?
A billion.
I mean, there's best sourdough. There's also best bakery. There's also, I mean, just next year there will be best comedy rap
best
song.
Sourdough?
I'm not joking. There's best sourdough.
And we might struggle to win it somehow.
So I've had the sourdough starter on my counter for years now. I've been perfect.
That's our category. That's our category next year.
Well, your category this year, you are up for best hip hop group in the music and nightlife category.
That's true.
Several albums into it, lots of attention, lots of funny stuff going on. Well deserved. Best hip hop group, Car Con Carne, of course, up for best podcast host. That's me. Best music podcast. So yeah, you're right. Brad said it. There are a million different categories. It goes pretty deep. So maybe I shouldn't feel as self-conscious about asking for people to.
Speaking of Brad too, and all the different categories, he is also nominated in another category that we've been urging folks to vote for.
Yeah, I'm also nominated for best hip hop producer, which is very bizarre. But I actually thought it was
bizarre.
I thought it was a joke. I had a friend text me. I thought it was a joke, and I was like, that's funny. How would I get nominated for that? And then I looked. I was like, oh, okay. And then I had a bunch of people texting me like, hey, I voted for you, like that. And I was like, oh, I guess I do work with a lot of people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I'm very excited.
Brad's our little hip hop virtuoso, and we have him right under our roof, and we're pretty proud of him.
So when I first opened up the voting on the Chicago Readers thing, it's like, best opera performance, I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be a long ride. Got ways to go through this before I hit the stuff that I'm actually familiar, comfortable voting on.
What's crazy is you'd think I would have jumped to the music one, like a logical person, but I'm so used to working in theater that I started in theater. So I looked at all the theaters, and we were on the Comedy 19, which was like an online sketch show we did like almost a year ago now. That was also nominated, so they were encouraging people to vote, and so that's why I actually logged on the first time and looked at all the theater stuff, and I was like, oh, this is cool. All right, sweet, I know some of these people. Okay, bye, and closed it and went and started making dinner and didn't think anything of it. Oh, so
Brad routinely talks to his computer while he uses it. That's why that story was so captivating.
All bets are off in the pandemic. I mean, you make friends where you can find them.
Right? Yeah, accurate.
My real life interactions are really bad nowadays.
We're all going to be awkward. It's all going to be very, very strange.
Oh my gosh. I had the absolute most awkward encounter with a barista at a coffee place. Because I haven't been into a place because my wife and I moved during the pandemic, so now we live in a house, and basically I used to only ever go out when pandemic existed to go get coffee in the morning, and now I just make coffee in the morning, so I don't see anyone ever. And the last time I spoke to a stranger was at a coffee shop, and I just hadn't have you guys ever done that thing where you start a sentence and you haven't cleared your throat in the last 48 hours?
Every time I order coffee when I'm going through the drive-thru first thing in the morning, every time.
They were like, "Sir, can I? What do you want?" Or whatever. And I was like, I'm sorry. Everything's fine. I'll just leave now. It was so weird. And then I couldn't recover. Like, I was so awkward, and I just wanted to like, because you can't use your face, and I'm so expressive, and I was fucking up, and it just wasn't working. We were like missing cues at every level.
Totally.
It was awful.
Well, the handshake's going to be weird moving forward.
Yeah.
Like when
I don't think it'll ever come back.
I'm okay with that.
It'll come back.
I
It'll
mean,
come
it
back.
may honestly.
Entitled, ego-driven douchebags everywhere are going to want to squeeze each other
That's true.
just for the sport of it.
No, it's weird. All of that stuff is weird to me. Like I was sitting at a dinner table with my parents, and my dad wanted to do a cheers, and I'm like, "Why are we touching glasses? This is weird. For what?" Like, "Oh, just glad to have you here." Cool. Then just say that. We don't need to touch our forks together either. Like, fucking
Hey,
weird.
let's all just meet in the middle of the table for a kiss real quick. Just,
Right. Exactly. Or put all your hands in and break.
yeah, no, I mean,
I'm there for that one, James.
there's a lot of unnecessary touch in society, so maybe people
Yeah,
are going to start
oh
reining
my-
that in.
I never liked the handshake because inevitably you're going to touch someone whose hand is clammy or sweaty or
Yeah,
weird.
But now touching people in general is all different too.
Mhm.
Like I told the guys, a flight attendant was being really nice to me, and while telling me a story, she touched my shoulder, and it's the first time a stranger that's not my wife touched my shoulder in a very long time, and I was like,
Where it's not a stranger.
"Is she
A
hitting
stranger
on
that's
me?"
Because
Oh yes. Okay, hold on. That came out wrong. A stranger.
I knew what you meant.
Well, my wife, who is not a stranger. See, again, this is me. I'm awkward now. Something happened during pandemic, and I can't express myself anymore, and now I'm just awkward.
I am.
Wait, so the
thrilled.
flight attendant touched you and you thought, is she into me?
I thought she was hitting on me, and then I was like, no, this is just a person being nice. This is just a nice. It
A
wasn't
person
even like
who's been regularly in society interacting
It
with
wasn't
people
even a-
being normal, and I'm weird.
It wasn't even a lingering hand. It was just like a tap. I was like,
Well, I think any guy who's gone for a haircut that costs more than $20, when you go for the shampoo, there's that moment where you think, the woman washing my hair I think she digs me.
Yeah.
she's like massaging my head.
Yeah.
Like she's really going for it with the scalp massage. I think early on.
100%.
Now, my
Thank you, Eric.
Totally.
my father's reached a stage in his life where I think he needs affirmation from others, where that's never been the case at all with him. He's a very egotistical Cuban man. But now we'll go to restaurants and stuff. Well, before the pandemic, not now. And he would like flirt and things, and he like waitress would walk away, and he'd be like, "Hey, in my younger days, I could have gotten that. You see, she's into me." No, she's not.
No, he's just
She
being
needs
a
to write down
waitress.
what you said.
So Handsome Naked is a hip hop group. They are a comedy hip hop group. We love Handsome Naked. Again, they are up for the best hip hop group in the Chicago Reader's Best of 2020 poll in music and nightlife. Separately, Brad is up for best hip hop producer, also in music and nightlife. You have until noon tomorrow to vote. Now, as we're recording
And
this,
James is up.
well, thank you. As we're recording this, it is Sunday. It is the big game Sunday. It's 5:12 p.m. The big game starts at 5:30. I am notoriously disinterested in football. This means nothing to me. Do you guys care? Are you into this?
I love football.
Brad?
I'm a diehard stock owning Green Bay Packer fan. So we've lost in the NFC Championship game like 5 of the last 10 years. So I really love football, but also I'm gonna wait and hold my thoughts for a little later. Maybe
That was a lot of context. I'm more in your boat, James. I like it, but I'm more of a basketball is really the sport that I follow. I don't really care who wins this game, but I am interested because, again, I'm kind of infuriated by Tom Brady's existing in this Super Bowl.
yes.
I'm infuriated. I used to live with New England
Brady.
sports fans in college, and I used to hate them when he played for them. And now he's not even playing for a New England team, and they're all like, "Yeah, that's our boy."
See, the way I see it, I don't know anything about football. I see Tom Brady as like the Dave Grohl of football. Like he was in fucking Nirvana. Like, how much better does it get than being in Nirvana? Then he goes on and starts Foo Fighters, and they're one of the biggest rock bands on earth right now. Like, it doesn't seem fair or right.
I love you, James. That's exactly how it feels. That's a great equivalency.
It's not okay.
But you needed to add a layer to that because Tom Brady is such a bad athlete. It's like if Dave Grohl was a horrible musician.
Yeah.
Still wasn't going to-
Is he really? I mean, he's not athletic.
He's not good.
No, he ran a 40 worse than all the 400-pounders. It was a
Well,
5.
what about his throwing mechanics? Does that not make him an athlete? If you had a golf swing that was
I
really
guess,
finite,
but
that would make you an athlete. So a throwing mechanics.
You can't throw the ball 80 yards though.
He's smart.
Like Aaron Rodgers has a much better arm than him, more accurate. Like he's smarter than everyone.
I guess based on all that information, James, my question to you would be: what's your favorite Super Bowl appetizer or food item?
I am so glad you asked, Eric, because the plan for tonight, I've got a couple recipes ready to go. I'm making beer cheese from the Man BQ cookbook,
Ooh.
chicken satay. It's the Anthony Bourdain recipe. And I was at Mariano's yesterday, and I saw something I never looked for there, but I never realized was there. St. Elmo's cocktail sauce. Now, St. Elmo's is this place in Indianapolis that has the best shrimp cocktail on earth.
Yes.
And they've got this super intense, spicy cocktail sauce. And I found it there while I was shopping last night. So I got myself some shrimp too. Shrimp with the St. Elmo's cocktail sauce. It's the kind of horseradish that you think you want more, but if you have too much, there's no stopping the flame. You have to ride it out, bite the pillow, suffer through it. It is intense. Like when you have too much hot sauce, you know how to put out the fire. When you have too much horseradish,
It's a different heat.
It is.
Oh yeah, but I
love
can
it 'cause
almost
it's
handle that
quick.
kind of heat over tongue heat. I
You're
handle
like a
it.
wasabi too.
I like the
Yes,
head
I put
pounding
wasabi
heat.
on my cold cut sandwiches. Like I love wasabi.
That's the wrong choice. That's just patently incorrect. I'm a sandwich man. That's wrong. Incorrect. I'm
Try
sorry.
it.
Do you want to just ruin flavor?
No,
What else?
wasabi,
James?
a little bit of Italian seasoning and onion, whatever cold cuts you want on there, just a staple.
Well, Chucho, you mentioned Cuban heritage.
Uh-huh.
Can we agree that the Cubano is a darn near perfect sandwich?
Yeah.
I will
It's
even
perfect.
agree to that.
I don't even like mustard, and yeah, it's perfect.
It's
Okay.
and you know what? It's what's so good about it. It's the heat. It's the press, and it's also that it's simple enough to where you get this exact same amount of every ingredient.
It's
And
the
everything.
pickle.
The Cuban
It's-
bread. The Cuban bread
Yes.
makes a big difference
But
too.
it's like the proportions of that sandwich. It's so simple. You get the
Brad,
same.
Brad has a question. Yes, Brad?
Eric, as someone who has maybe been a self-proclaimed sandwich enthusiast, sandwich is your
Yes.
favorite food. You have a
Yes.
sandwich tattoo.
Yes.
Your favorite sandwich, because you said I understand the Cuban sandwich is a perfect sandwich. What's your favorite sandwich though?
Yes. Okay. My favorite sandwich of all time is a homemade, like Quiznos popularized it, but a seasoned turkey ranch and Swiss.
Pastrami on a pastrami on a bagel from a Jewish deli. in New
Seasoned
York is the best.
like a good marbled rye, turkey, ranch, Swiss, shredded romaine, a little bit of tomato, usually like some Italian seasoning.
Cold?
No, hot.
Oh,
And wasabi.
Swiss cheese isn't worth anything to anybody on a sandwich unless it's hot.
Next time you make that
Cold
sandwich,
Swiss
put
cheese on a
wasabi
sandwich.
on it.
Cold Swiss cheese on a sandwich is a damn travesty.
It's not
It's not,
terrible.
It's flavorless when it's cold.
You want to talk flavorless? Turkey is no one's favorite meat.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
what
shame.
are you talking-
James, that's a shame.
Are you doing sliced but deli
a
turkey, or is it like
shame.
cooked turkey breast?
I'll take sliced. I like deli turkey. What's wrong with sliced turkey breast?
Nothing. It's a filler though.
Disagree.
All right, I want to show you guys something.
Appreciate-
Right before we started tonight, speaking of the Super Bowl, I saw this headline on CNN. This is legit. I just screenshot this. I thought this was hilarious because this can't be the way they intended it to read. The headline says, "There will be other Super Bowls," U.S. officials warn.
Wow.
What does that mean? What does that say about this Super Bowl? What should we expect for tonight? That sounds ominous.
It's just all of that Brady hate. People try
There
to.
I will say, I really thought there was no way I wouldn't want, or I would root for anyone other than Patrick Mahomes. I was like, oh, I like the Chiefs. I like Patrick Mahomes, but they won last year. So I was like, anybody else, just anyone else. And now the universe has found a way for me to now want Kansas City Chiefs to win back to back because Tom mother effing Brady.
Yeah, I can't allow Tom Brady to win.
I'm going to ask a really
LeBron
important question.
James.
Yeah.
Are the puppets here?
Oh boy.
And I have mine this time, James.
Yes.
Yes, they're always here. Oops, my puppet's pants fell down. Hang on 1 second while I make him decent.
I'm still trying to figure out who Tom Brady is in the music industry. It's somebody more annoying.
I don't know why this amuses me. I know why. It's puppets.
Did that help you?
Puppets are the best.
I love the stubble on Chucho's puppet. I mean, that really that sells it. That's
Eric's wife did that, I believe.
Yeah, my wife created the stubble with a, I think it's called a Sharpie, a Sharpie marker, a Sharpie. It's
Share
very-
pie.
It came with a ridiculously thick mustache on it. He was like a Mexican car salesman, I think is what he was supposed to be. or something.
Eric and I's are young boys, and Chucho's is an old uncle puppet.
But now he still has like this like white residue on his lips, which is fitting for me also, I guess.
My puppet's got a weird energy to him when he's not working on a music video, so he just kind of lingers, kind of gets in the way.
I get it. So we talked about food. What are you guys doing tonight? What are your plans for the big game?
Sid.
Well, my wife went to Whole Foods to get some delicious treats and snacks for the Super Bowl. So I'm going to be surprised when she gets back by whatever we got. But I'm going to have to help make it. So I don't know what.
Hopefully
but
no turkey.
I'm thinking. Oh, see, you guys hate turkey. James,
I don't hate turkey.
I have
James?
turkey all the time.
James, they hate
Yes.
turkey. They hate meat. They hate everything that I stand for. Can you see what's going on here?
2/3 accurate, I think.
So the headline is "There's trouble in the handsome naked camp."
Always.
Yeah.
No, I think I'd be more worried if they were getting along.
Yeah,
As the
that's what-
dad,
you really got to worry when we're
The
like
baby
on our
dad.
best behavior. Yeah,
As
that's
the
when things
baby
are
dad.
bad.
Yeah.
the problems are really when you don't hear fighting. You know what I mean? They say that as a parent. I'm definitely a parent.
It's funny because Brad is actually the best puppeteer too, so he can carry off an interview as the
Yeah.
puppet.
He's
We
extraordinary.
never
Maybe.
really tested my skill though.
We didn't.
Yeah, well, I can
Chucho,
tell
go.
it's not there.
Brad just took over.
Well, because Brad went. Okay, James. Brad went to
Chucho,
puppet
go.
camp.
Chucho, go with what? I'm very talented at this. You need to recognize my
Okay,
effort.
bottom line. If the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl, and if Tom Brady,
Fuck
Doesn't-
Tom Brady.
thank you. If
Tom Brady.
I was focusing more on the puppeteering than what I was going to say. So you know, if anyone
Both
wants to
teams have a Michigan quarterback.
Oh,
And I actually preferred Chad Henne, the backup quarterback for the Chiefs, while he was at Michigan over Tom
I don't.
Brady.
Who? No,
They're
that
years
doesn't matter.
before.
That doesn't mean anything.
this
It
is sort
does.
of related, but not
Michigan
Tom Brady.
represent-
The only thing I like about Tom Brady is his eating habits because they like eat super healthily and sustainable and vegan and stuff. And I've watched some food stuff. Speaking of food, I've watched some food documentaries that he's been in. So I don't hate him that much.
And also, speaking of food, James, you never answered my question. You used it as a segue, so I appreciate that. But what is your favorite Super Bowl food item?
Jalapeno poppers, I think, are timeless classics. And buffalo wings. I love buffalo wings.
Yeah.
Are you a
I'm a
bone
big
in or
wings
bone
guy.
out?
Oh, you got to do it with bone. You got to go full caveman.
See, these guys like boneless. I like bone in.
Do you prefer the wing or the flat?
The flat. That's
Yeah.
easier to
The
get.
drumstick or the wing wing?
The wing where you
The
can-
wing. Yeah, the wing's a lot easier to eat.
Now,
Double.
some of the best wings in Chicago are not buffalo wings. There's a place called Great Sea on Lawrence Avenue. It's like Lawrence and Kedzie, I think.
I've seen that place, but I've never had the wings.
So they do the lollipop wings. So that's the bone is kind of like a lollipop, and you eat off that, and it's like super spicy Korean barbecue.
I love
Ooh.
Korean barbecue.
Oh my god, dude, these wings are ridiculous. And they have one of those Chinese menus that's like a phone book. It's like 50 pages, but literally the only thing you ever see them sell is these buffalo or these
Yeah.
lollipop
Wings.
wings.
Oh, I
But-
love that style of wing too. Those are so good.
So yeah, it's north side, it's like Lawrence and Kedzie or whatever.
There's
Not far
a
from me.
place called I think it's called Konak Grill in Andersonville. They also serve wing, or they used to serve wings that style, and they're just so good that way.
So yeah, I'm a
Where
fan
was
of
that
the
in
wings.
Anderson-
Where in
Where was that
Andersonville?
in Andersonville?
It's on Clark, and it's on Clark and maybe Berwyn.
Okay, yeah, I used to live right there. I don't remember that.
I used to live in that area too. I used to live over by kind of in between Andersonville and Ravenswood. I hadn't been there for a while. That whole stretch of Clark Street is just so completely different.
Totally different now.
It is commerce. It is high activity. It is so different. From when I lived there.
There's a great whiskey bar. There's a lot of nice stuff there now.
Yeah, the food in that neighborhood's been
they got the little the area of Thai food that straight up the Berwyn stop as well. It has a lot of really good Thai restaurants. Like there's a lot of stuff there.
They have record stores now. They didn't have that when I lived there.
Speaking of which, great record pickups. Those are awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, I work I have like a traditional 9 to 5, and when I'm at work, sometimes if I'm typing or trying to do something creative or intellectual, sometimes lyrics or vocals take me out of what I'm working on. So I found myself listening to more soundtracks and scores just because it's a nice background and it doesn't throw me off what I'm working on.
Yeah. And the Enter the Fist is going to be so cool with like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon. Edge of the Fist. Edge of the Fist. I saw that movie. Not for a family.
Different score. Totally different score. No, that'd be so cool to listen to.
I listened to it. Like this was actually the first thing I put on when I got home. First of all, it's very 1970s. It's 1973. Yeah. It sounds like a 70s soundtrack. But yes, there are those Bruce Lee noises.
Did they leave them on?
I figured there would be, because that's how the thing about when they made that, the score had to include that too.
I was not expecting that. I mean, this isn't something I can listen to with great regularity because it's a little distracting, but it's so of that moment in time. It's awesome.
It's like listening to the long version of a sampled Wu-Tang album.
Yeah. Exactly right. Exactly. Look at this, the black and white back cover.
God, that's awesome.
I love this. I love this stuff. And
that's cool.
Back when movie posters were legit, right? I mean,
yeah. I love when they used to realistically reanimate actors for movie posters. I loved that. That was such a cool era of the movie poster. I miss that. I want Handsome Naked to have a poster like that, or an album cover.
That'd be
like
fun.
That. Maybe James, you should be included in that. Maybe we should just do like a collaboration image where we're just the four of us are like epic, like Greek gods on a mountainside, and it's like animated, and then there's like
just for the next time we're on Car Con Carne, it'll just be this epic 70s poster.
Love it.
What's happening with those guys? Oh, nothing. They're just doing the show again.
You're right.
What I think you should do, James, is you should put on like Game of Death or one of Bruce Lee's other movies, play that movie on mute, and just play the Enter the Dragon soundtrack and see how they line up.
Exactly.
You might be able to get some weird moments.
So, all right, as we're recording this, we're 3 minutes away from the big game. I know that if anyone's paying attention now, they're not going to be in a couple minutes. I'm going to wrap this up.
Smart.
Let's summarize with the most important takeaway from this podcast.
Turkey is stupid.
And Brad is the best puppeteer.
Yeah.
Turkey is delicious.
That's why we did this today.
Chucho makes incorrect sandwich decisions. There is absolutely no reason to put wasabi on a sandwich, but James is the best podcast host in Chicago.
Everyone needs to go vote for him.
And Handsome Naked, the best hip hop group. Brad, the best hip hop producer. Please vote. We'd all love your support. We'd appreciate it. The bottom line is lots of super talented people in the city are nominated for a million different categories. Everyone's a winner, but we sure would like to be officially the winners.
But we want to be the winneriest winners.
Yeah. Of course. So if you're watching or listening, thank you for doing that. Handsome Naked, I love you guys.
Love you more. Thanks for having us back, man. We always appreciate it.